and welcome to day 3 of Multidimensional. It has been a journey. I feel like it's been at least 2 weeks. um, I have been loving everybody like reaching out and messaging me, sharing with me your experiences from yesterday and the day before. For those who are on the replay, reading your messages honestly gave me like full body tingles, super activated, and it's confirming because, in my human journey, it has taken me a little while to kind of come out and share my voice and really speak into the things that I've embodied. And I genuinely feel like I have been on this huge initiation in my own work and in um, my own ascension deeply for the last, like 3 years. And so I've been hugely like integrating my own self, and learning this stuff truly so that I can teach it from a super embodied way. So I would just love to get a feel for the grid and see how everybody's going. Hi, Ozzy, Paula, Ida, Charlotte, Briar, Emery, David, Emma Jane, Holly Lou, Jeanette, Melissa, and Sam. And hi to everybody who is joining on the replay. I trust you are well. I'm so honored to be here, and we've made it to day 3. Um, I would love for you guys to just share with me, like, put a 1 up or a 2. 1 for feeling really good, or 2 for like I'm still kind of trying to stabilize my energy a little bit. Okay, so we've got some 1s. You can just like do a 2 in the thing because I can see you. 1 plus 2. Okay, so Holly's a 3. We've got a couple of 2s. Okay, cool. 1, 1, 1. Okay, cool. So everyone overall, I'd say the grid's feeling pretty good, feeling pretty integrated. I did support you guys. I do a lot of work in my dreams actually. Um, 1, but now feeling a light cold. I'm not surprised, David, because you had such a massive out of body experience yesterday. Bringing that high frequency energy actually back into like descending that into your body is going to influence your body, and it's going to purge out, like we talked about yesterday, any densities that are in the field. And when we become, real observers of all of these things that are happening in our field, we learn to say thank you, cold, thank you, densities, thank you, limiting beliefs, for showing me where I still have to grow. Um, and we just bless them and allow it to be what it wants to be. So, um, I would like to share with you a story. I haven't prepared anything for today. I really wanted the feel of the grid to allow me to do the transmission without prep, and just to really embody my channel. And usually how this works when I'm co-creating with spirit is that I usually get like a download the night before, or like when I was creating this event, I like boom, got the column of ascension and higher self, got the words of consciousness. I like knew what I was going to teach. And then day 3 was like the random wild card. So often in life when we're working in our spiritual journey is that we don't actually know the answers all the time. And I remember when I really started getting super deep into this work and I started my entrainment with the Keepers of Light and the Galactic Federation and Star Nation program that I'm a part of, I got really frustrated with my progress. I was so angry that I wasn't making progress on my mission. And I was like obsessed. And I remember um, receiving that, like I was not going to be given a scroll with all of the information about what I was here to do in my lifetime. Yes, there is a scroll, and yes, we have signed one, and we have agreed to a certain amount of karmic things, but also, you know, what happens is if we were to be given a whole scroll of what we were to complete and potentials, the potential field of infinite possibilities in our timelines, it would be super overwhelming. Like we wouldn't actually really, would look at it and we'll be like, I've got to do what? You're going to tell me that I'm going to learn this and, like enter an XYZ. And so, what I can share with you is that the universe and spirit has always guided me with one step. Here's a free transmission. You guys are guided to watch it. You followed through on that. Often at times we're guided into programs, or we're guided to leave our job, or we're guided to leave a partner, or we're guided to move houses, or sometimes when we have these experiences, we're like, why did I do that? For an example, dumb boyfriends. I experienced that over and over and over. I was like, oh, I'm not finished yet. Better go back and have another real dumb boyfriend who's a psycho just to make sure that I've got the t-shirt in 6 different colors, and I went back and relearnt the same lesson again and again, even sometimes with the same guy, not even jazzing it up a bit. And had I known that all of these experiences were going to give me deep compassion and consideration and loving kindness and healing to myself and others, then I probably wouldn't have been so worried about it at the time. And so today, tuning in and aligning my frequency before I jumped on, I received the download of what to teach about 3 minutes before I jumped on, and then my audio didn't work. And let me tell you, there has been one thing every day that's happened since I've done this transmission. There was a weird email that everybody got on the first day. Sorry about that. Just randomly happened. Like, fuck. That was a mistake. And, I've just got to roll with it. I actually spilt my coffee and burnt my stomach. I know. And now my mic's not working. And I feel like my slogan of this should be like, you don't have to be perfect to lead. We're not looking for perfection. I'm not living in spiritual perfection. I still get frustrated. I still come out of alignment. I still purge and have days where I feel shit. But what I can tell you is that through learning these things and becoming a master of my emotions, of my mind, and of my body, my human journey, and connecting to the higher planes of existence, my life has become easier and my life has become more joyful. I had somebody say to me today in a private session this morning, "You are so happy." And I'm like, "It's the space buns. They make you happy." They're like antennas to the higher realms. Um, but I genuinely am. And truthfully, like, I wasn't always this way. I suffered from massive depression, massive anxiety, like panic attacks, and constant anxiety, like to the point where I'd talk to a friend on the phone and hang up and then be like, oh my God, did I say something wrong? She probably thinks this, that, and the other. And I'd like go into the spiral of like craziness. And it was horrible. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to know that like ascension and connecting to these higher planes of existence and having more of a connection with my soul and my soul family has been profoundly healing. And I have a deep and authentic love for myself, love for my body, love for my family, love for my friends, and a deep passion and joy for what I do. Like, I love it. And my intention is that you all get to experience that in your life. And it does take devotion. And a friend of mine who's not on here live today, but she was sharing the other day about how she was rebellious as a child. She has a rebellious nature. Um, and she she was saying in this live that she was had a problem with authority. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had major trouble with authority in my past. I got expelled from schools. I was super rebellious as a teenager. I was like a complete fucking wild child. Like, I don't even know how my parents are not dead from heart attacks from some of the shit that I did to them. Like, I was so naughty. Like, I stole their car. Like, oh my God, you name it, I did it. Got into fights. And so this rebellious nature has taken me, she's still there. You know what I mean? Like, she's still there. She hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that I've learned how to like alchemize her into wholeness. And what my friend was sharing was that she was doing her morning practice and she was setting up her little ritual thing. And she was like, oh, fuck that shit. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do, not even myself. And she was like rebelling against her own practice, rebelling against her own devotion. And I just laughed out loud because I was like, this has been me, man. It's so relatable. Like, how many of you guys have been like, I'm going to meditate every day? And then you're like, nah, fuck it. I'll do it later. You know, and we rebel against our own self, against our own guidance. Yeah. Give me a one in the comments if you can relate to this because I feel like we all do this. Yeah. One. Yeah. And so what she was sharing, which was so perfect, and why I want to share with you guys, is that the alchemy for this is that you have to come into aligned devotion. And what does that mean? So, for an example, I can feel a lot purging in the room. What are we doing it for? What is the practice for? What is the purpose? What's the why? Why am I doing it? Why do I want to ascend? Why will connecting with my soul daily help me? Why? Why? Ask yourself why. And, this is a good practice for journaling because, and there's nothing wrong with like wanting things in your life. Like, I want more money. I want to build a new house. I would love to go on a holiday. I want to feel more purpose. I want to love myself. I want to fall in love. I want to enter an XYZ. It doesn't actually, there's no judgment around the things that you actually desire because you're here to have that. You're here in this beautiful human existence to actually have all the beautiful, juicy, sexy, fun, amazing things. And so if you're looking at rebelling against yourself, and which is so easy to do actually. It's easier to be, like tell yourself that you don't want to do something. It's actually harder to move past that way of consciousness and do the damn thing. Is that you need to come into this practice of why. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to ascend? What is fueling you up? What is charging you up? And what is it that you're calling forward? What is it that you're desiring? And you need to do it for that. All you just said, I would love to have it all. Of course, same, babe. And we deserve it all. And like I shared on day one, we have all been entrained in this low matrix consciousness. Society has been pumped full of fear and conditioning and this belief that we're separate from God, that we're not worthy, that others are more worthy than us. That to be worthy, we have to be a size 10, have fake boobs, fake lips, fake da 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 da, and look like a Kardashian. Like we are programmed with this all the time. We've got all of these options all the time to buy and consume and compete and compare. And then we wonder why we feel like shit and we can't come into devotion because we feel guilty for even pleasuring it in the first place. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you this morning is because I would love for you to know that this is just part of being a human. Sarah says, I think my why is freedom. And then the question is, what does freedom mean to you? What does freedom look like? How do you experience freedom? Freedom to you and freedom to me might be two totally different things. Get clear why. And then when you wrote down why, like what freedom means, what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of having more freedom? And then when you write down the purpose of that, and you've got like, okay, cool. So freedom for me means being able to explore and travel with my children without worrying about too much money. Like being able to pay our mortgage and pay for food and still do things. Why? Because I wasn't able to do that as a child because we were brought up quite poor. What is the purpose of that? The purpose of it is that I'd love to give my children a different experience of this holy hologram. I would love to help them be free of the conditioning that I had so that they don't have to do as much work that I did. What is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is that these children, in a very short amount of time, are going to be the leaders of the new earth. And they need to be grounded and balanced. They have to be whole and they have to be healed. What is the purpose of that? Because they're young men. They need to be empowered. They need to be divine. They need to be strong. They need to be safe. And they need to be in touch. What is the purpose of that? So that they can hold up the frequency of the divine masculine. What is the purpose of that? So that we can be in balance with the divine feminine and the whole of humanity can ascend. So yeah, my freedom. What is the purpose of freedom? What does freedom look like to me? It looks like that I'm here to support the ascension of all of humanity. Can you guys see how powerful this exercise is? I've got tingles. Woo! Fire! Which is funny because one of my cards I pulled before I jumped on said fire. So I really want to come into purpose, mission. I was so obsessed with my mission. I remember when I first met Sam, she's here. Can you wave? Sam is an amazing, amazing, amazing ceremonial sound fucking empress, goddess, queen. And I remember when I met her, she said, yeah, I had ayahuasca and the plant medicine told me you have to sing. And she just started singing, literally, in ceremony. And now she holds ceremony all over the country. I'm sure it will be all over the world. Like she's a global facilitator. She does it in person, online, and boom, she just got such a clear directive. She got her mission. Mine was not like that. I went around and up and down and then did all this other shit and then went back to the 3D, did some other stuff, came back, mine's been all over the fucking place. Let me tell you, it has not been that clear. And I didn't get a directive like that. All I had was a pull. All I had was a feeling. All I had was a why. And for me, the why has always been my children. My children are very, very awake, sensitive, galactic little children. Well, they're not little, one of them's 12. And so that's always been a driving force for me. And I would love for everyone to put their why. And the how, honestly, that just works out. That's not for us to worry about. That comes with the universe. This is trusting. We take the leap and the universe catches us. Is everyone enjoying my transmission so far? And while you're writing, I'm going to draw you a really cool picture, okay? And I've got a new pen because the other one broke. And I would just like to share that this has been taught before. It's not new. But I would love for you to watch this with new ears. Some of you have been to my in person workshops and received this. Some of you are in other programs that I currently teach in. And some of you have, like received this in many different formats. So I'm just going to share it with you regardless. So, ta da! Amazing! Isn't that wonderful? That's you. You're so happy. We'll do some here. Look at that. Oh my God, you've got a smiley face and all. So this is you. I know. You're thinking, Mel, you should be an artist. And that's your soul, right? Your soul is outside of your body and you are inside of your soul, which is funny because the first time I learned this, I honestly thought that the soul was in my heart. I thought it was like this little ball of light. And then I realized, well, I got activated into recognizing that my soul is actually outside of me. And what we're doing in this human journey is we're breaking down some of the little programs and beliefs, identity. For some of us, it could be religion, poverty consciousness, drugs and alcohol, whatever. So we're going to pretend like these are little programs and beliefs. And we begin a journey to realize that these beliefs aren't actually us. That's not true. These are just wavy little things that can't affect us. And the truth is that actually our soul, which is infinite, abundant, prosperous, whole and complete, and filled with love, kind, and compassion, is our truth. And what we then decide to do as a human is we decide to expand. We want to evolve our consciousness and our frequency. We want to explore more. We want to live beyond these limitations. And then we begin a journey of remembering that we are connected to an oversoul. Okay, we have an oversoul network. This is other fractals living in a multiverse in different timelines and dimensions across all time and space. The fractal of our consciousness is embodied and awake here on Earth. We may have other parallel lifetimes on Arcturus or Sirius or Andromeda or a crystal being on the inside of the earth or a fairy or a non-dimensional being or an angelic. We could have existences as a rock in a rock world or a bird world or whatever, like, because this is the universe and it's multiple. How this looks actually is it's kind of like stacked on each other. It's not like just flat in one. There's many. And sometimes in these timelines are, lifetimes where we may have been burnt at the stake for our gifts, or we were a keeper in Egypt and we got murdered, or we lived when Jesus was alive and, we got tortured or stoned to death following him, or enter an XYZ. A lot of us, pretty much everybody, has had an experience in earth reality that has been overseen by their whole oversoul network and their soul's consciousness, their higher self. That was backwards. Their higher self and their council in co-creation with God, overseeing the variations of your soul across all time and space to evolve. Is everyone following me so far? Give me a 1 in the comments. Yep, you're good. Or just thumbs up. Yeah, that's sweet as. Yep, cool. Right, and so we have the ability to heal lower, or we're going to say higher and lower, but there's no hierarchy here. It really doesn't matter, but we're going to use it so that our mind can understand parts of ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of this. Part of my human journey is that I have um, uh, done a lot of drugs and alcohol. Just in a nutshell, that's what it is. And that through drinking, like that's how I socialized. That's how I escaped. That's how I would hang out with people. You know, we live in a society where it's like totally normal to drink wine every night when you cook dinner or whatever. And then, you know, go out with your girlfriends and have a couple of tequila shots. Well, I have no fucking off button. I am all go all the time. I only want to party. I can't casually drink. Some of you who live locally around where I live have seen me. I'm out the gate. I will literally jump the fence, do a roly poly, fucking high five the DJ, and like, you know, do splits on the dance floor. I'm loose as. And I just didn't know how to balance that. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate because it's a really easy way to switch off, to come out of the mind and just to be like whoever. Oh, I was drunk when I did that. It wasn't me. But unfortunately, I've been heavily programmed by my family who love parties. They love partying. They love having social events. They love having people around. Um, and so it's really normal. It's totally socialized. It's totally part of like my family unit. And I haven't been drinking for a long time, obviously, because I just had a baby. But we went out recently, me and my husband, and some of you know the story. Some of you may not. But I went out with my husband and I had like 4 drinks before we even left because I was like so fucking excited just to get out of the house. Like honestly, the wheelie bin had gone out more than me. I was like dead keen to like get out of the house, and it was my sister's birthday. And the next day my husband had to fly to Auckland, and so he had to leave really early in the morning, and I just got slaughtered. Like I didn't even eat the dinner where we were at this beautiful restaurant. I just had like espresso martinis and like was living my dream. And so easily I shut off like all respect for my husband. He was like, oh, I want to go. It's getting late. It was like, I don't know, 10:30, 11, and I literally slid down under the table, climbed across under the floor, popped out the other side of the table, and ran away. Like, ran. Because I just did not, yeah, Holly's like, oh my God. I just didn't want to go back to the normal. I was really unhappy. I hadn't felt freedom in ages. I had felt trapped at home. I had felt, really isolated. I was still like healing from my baby, and I didn't feel myself. And long story short, he got me and we went home. And I felt like shit for like 3 days. Like I just felt terrible. I was emotionally super hungover. I was physically super hungover. And what was happening was that there was a massive healing happening. And this version of me who loves to party and loves to do all of these things was no longer in resonance with my soul and the trajectory of where I was heading. And I had to begin a journey to heal myself from this. And what I thought actually I had to do, I honestly thought that she was going to die. I was like, she's going to have to die, and, like I can no longer be that person. And, like, has anyone felt like that? There's like a death of yourself. And through working with my spiritual mentor, is that I realized that I could actually alchemize and heal this version of me and bring it into wholeness, bring it into unity consciousness inside of myself, and thank her. Like, thank you so much, you crazy fucking wild child, because, like, she's got me to where I am today. She's ballsy and brave and, like, might not have the best, like, habits, but she still got me here. So I love her, and I spent a process of healing this across all timelines and dimensions into myself and integrating her into me. And it took actually quite a process and it was horrible. And I felt like shit for ages. But what happens is I shut this down. I shut down that timeline. I shut down the need and the addiction that came with this to keep looping back there. And what this happens is when you heal yourself on a multidimensional level, is that we have access to a new part of our oversoul because we're expanding outward. This is also happening inside of our body, but for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can. And these are versions of Mel who have embodied um, sobriety consciousness, to be sober to this beautiful life and live it wholly and completely. This is the version of Mel who decided that she's going to step up into her leadership and share her wonderful codes with the world. This is the version of Mel who, I don't know, like is taking her kids on a holiday and becoming the, living the why. What am I doing this for? And it becomes more accessible because this is no longer holding me in this lower dimension. Like I explained, and well, I can put it that way, and we could look at it like this, as in this was the third D. And I had available all of these higher planes wanting to come through me, wanting to support me, wanting to guide me. And this is actually what we're all doing. All of this exists in the now. The past, the present, the future, parallel, multiverse, alternate, you name it, different universes, different star systems, it's all happening in the now. And the more that we can embody our higher self and we call on our higher self, our star council, and source consciousness to flow through us, we are automatically in alignment, if we command it, to the higher realms, to the highest, most loving versions of our higher self, so that we no longer have access to this. And it's kind of like, I can't go back to being a 2-year-old. My earliest memory, I think, I was about 3. I can remember her, but I'm not going to go back and be her. And when we come into ascension and evolution, what we do is we become masters and we actually manipulate this oversoul network in co-creation with our higher self, as seen by, source. And we align to these other ways of being, these other selves. And so this is often when people remember past lives or gifts and talents come on board real quickly. And so part of the activation that we're going to do is we're going to merge with a future version of yourself, who is in a different timeline, but that exists in the now. And often this future version of yourself is ascended, is more evolved, and they are actually the one who is looking down the timeline, healing you in the now moment. They are the one who is actually guiding you. So when most people go like, oh, I feel a Syrian guide, or I've been working with the Sirius, star being, the evolution of that consciousness is actually that is an ascended future timeline version of themselves in a different reality as part of their oversoul. So when people are like, it's my guide, blah, 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 I've got my guide this or my guide that, it's actually a version of them. Oh, it's giving me goosebumps, guys. Yeah, it's a version of them in a different reality. And if we want to go even more mega quantum, do we want to go mega quantum, guys? Give me one in the comments. Is that, well, yeah, yes, okay, cool. I'll give it to you. Is that the Council of Light is actually versions of you as well. This is actually just very ascended versions of your soul, your oversoul network, your higher self, your Council of Light, co-creation with God consciousness. Is that they are all just versions of you being experienced in the multiverse. I'm gonna read the comments. I remember when I first channeled that and it was in a transmission, it was in a private session with someone, and I was like, and then I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh my God, whoa. We were both like trapping out. I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. It was like, I don't know, I just understood it. Okay, cool. Yes, massive goosebumps. Sam, always felt that the beings that I interact with don't feel separate to me. Love. That's right, because they're not separate. They are you. And so, in your daily practice, or when I do my activations, you might hear or notice that I say aligning with the highest, most loving version of your higher self now. Because we're all shifting and evolving, and I'm just going to have a look at the time. Oh my God, time goes so fast. It's been 45 minutes. Um, I knew I was going to struggle keeping one of the trainings that we're going to do on quantum is called time. Anyway, and what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we're like shifting and changing our frequency all of the time. Like we're literally interfacing with the hologram that is this life, and it's giving us like a biofeedback, right? And we're constantly actually attuning ourselves to this biological feedback all the time. And the feedback comes through our body. It's actually our body is the temple. It's like the most advanced. I wish I knew more things about computers so that I could like give a reference for that, but I don't. So it's kind of like your body is the antenna. There we go. We're gonna go radio. That's how technological I am with IT. So it's like the radio, and we're actually picking up on these frequencies that are moving and swirling and ascending as we are part of this huge infinite multiverse. And we are being influenced by this um, with our practice and how much we ascend. David said, I merged with and became a version of myself on a planet Sirius during a shamanic journey during a Lionsgate portal a couple years ago. Yeah, that's so cool. And so, David, this is you lifting up your physical frequency of your human being self so that this other kind of, we're going to do high and low again, but please remember that it's not like that because there's no hierarchy in the realms. But let's say he's here and he's in the seventh dimension, which is really, Sirius is like 567D, and you're here. And for whatever reason, you had done a sequence of events and been listening to your soul and doing these things, and you have been in a process on the Lionsgate portal where we have access to all these other interdimensional light codes, and lifted yourself up to a point in your energetic body and your consciousness where this one can then reach you because they love themselves so much that they're not going to lower their frequency right down to the third dimension and be part of the slave matrix. They won't do that. They will not do that. What they will do is they will lovingly guide you to like a series of events or whatever and courses and programs and enter an XYZ so that you can get the tools and resources and material that you need to lift yourself up daily. Because we go back down again. Lift it up. Oh my God, I'm so high frequency. No, just kidding. I'm going to purge now. Oh my God, I'm so high vibe. Now I'm going to get plasma poisoning for 6 weeks and almost kill my sister. Oh my God, I'm a fucking ascended master. No, you're not. And what we do is we come up and down and we actually need to stabilize ourselves here. And, this is what my program is highest intention is to bring you out of this and stabilize you into a grid where you learn how to hold your frequency yourself. And so this loving being of a different version of David in the seventh dimension connected with him, emerged, which is perfect because that's exactly what we're going to do in today's activation. Who's ready for it? Okay, before we jump into that, have we got any questions around that content? You can just jump off mute and ask if you've got something. I'm going to have some water. All questions are welcome, no matter if you think they're silly or you're trying to understand it, because I learned by questioning everything, by absolutely like being like, can you explain that again? I have taught this so many times, and every time I teach it or every time I go into a transmission about it, it's always a slight variation and there's always an expansion, because I've expanded, because I've been able to read, I'm on a process of connecting to these higher planes. I'm devoted to it. Right, Sarah has a question. Not a question, but I've started actively merging with higher versions of myself when I do the column of ascension every morning, and it's felt really transformational. Yes. Thank you for that. That's a wonderful share. We can have another share if you like, if anybody wants to share something into the group. I would love shares. That's so beautiful, Sarah. And imagine if you completely devoted yourself to that practice every single day, how more aligned you would be, how easy it would be to help make choices in your life, because those higher selves will merge with you and will shut down the other parts of self. Holly, are you typing? Just say it into the group. She says, I experienced in a meditation the other day where I actually felt and saw my higher self pulling me forward. Yes. Thank you. And that's why on day one I shared that picture of like this huge, big, like massively tall being sharing like this beam of light from their heart to like our little human self. Because that's kind of how I see it. And I've stood in the Council of Light, in the center of my Council of Light, and they are so tall. They are so advanced. Like they are really ascended beings. I honestly feel like I came up to their knees. That was as high as I could get, like 7D, but they were going well beyond. And part of the work that I do and my guides and the team that I work with, obviously different versions of myself, but they're really advanced in timelines and time loops and interdimensional time and interdimensional, in between the dimensions, speeding up time, slowing down time, seeing timelines, changing timelines, like non-physical and physical stuff. And so that's been a real big part of my like joyful ascension, is like learning this stuff with these interdimensional time warps, which is something that I teach you in my program. I'm just going to read the next couple of comments. How do I make that go up? Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Um, the birds always come to me in my garden when we're about to do the activations. Yesterday was mudlight, and today beautiful blue and yellow bird. Yeah, and it's just started raining again here. Bloody country life. It's been all seasons today, but my little baby, Walt, who I showed a picture of, he's just started daycare. And yesterday I went there for a visit, and there was these two non-verbal children there who are obviously on the spectrum. One of them was a girl, one of them was a boy, and the little girl like kept like pulling my hair and grabbing my necklace, and I was like, go away. Like I'm here to like settle my baby so that I can like work. Um, and then I kind of like got this information from my soul that she was coming to my aura for a healing, and I was like, oh, okay, sweet as. And so I was just like, okay, and I just said like to myself, okay, I allow the healing to take place. And she came and sat on my lap and just snuggled into me, this kid who I've never met, and just sat there and like played with the bottom of my hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, wow. And then she like received whatever she wanted to receive and left. Then the little boy who was non-verbal, who was probably about 4, he came and sat with me and hugged me, like put his arms around my neck and put his head on my shoulder, and he stayed like that for 20 minutes. And the teachers in the center were like, do you know that kid? And I was like, no. And I was just like swaying and I was just rocking him, and I could feel this huge transmission come down. And he was being soothed by the frequency of the higher planes that I hold. And because he's non-verbal, it doesn't mean that he's not conscious. It means that his consciousness is tapped out. You know, he's in the planes. And it was just like, it was so powerful, honestly. It almost made me cry because it was just like, that's when you know, like, frequency doesn't lie. When animals are attracted to you and little kids, you know, like want to like smile at you, it's because you're holding a resonance in your field, and they feel that they're tapped into that frequency. And so I just thought I'd share that with you. Alrighty, let's do the activation because I still have my giveaway. Oh my god! Who's excited for the giveaway? Give me a like whoop 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 whoop. Yeah, everyone. Cool. You guys are so beautiful. I love you. Okay, calm down. I'm saying that to myself. Okay, breathing in and relaxing your body. Closing down your eyes if that feels safe. And visualizing now and calling in your column of ascension. Golden crystalline light from the grand central sun, pouring down your column of light and connecting to your soul star. Breathe. Allow this golden crystalline light now to pour down and align you with your highest, most loving version of your higher self. That's right. Call this light down into your crown, your third eye, your throat, your higher heart, your heart. Breathe. Opening up the portal of your heart, calling this golden crystalline light now down into your solar plexus, your sacral and your root, aligning, cleansing, clearing, and protecting all of your chakras in your body. Breathe. Calling this light down now into your hips, legs, knees, and feet, and grounding this light down into Gaia, into the Mother. That's right, bringing this penetrating energy of God energy, this God source light, this primal light, down into the feminine, down into the womb, down into Gaia. Breathe. Visualize and imagine now that you can ground down through the grids of Gaia, the most beautiful, pristine grids of Gaia, and connect to the highest, most crystalline version of the earth. That's right. Ground down your light and breathe into the heart of Gaia, your heart, and the heart of the universe. Aligning yourself, standing in your pillar of light. Gently now expand your pillar, expand your light. As you expand your light, you expand your awareness. Feel yourself larger than your body. That's right. Breathe. As you stay in your column of light, grounded and connected, protected, visualize and imagine now that you can lift up out of your body. Visualize and imagine yourself in the quantum field, walking once again to the temple of light. Visualize on the way to the temple, you see your spirit animal with you once again. And on the way to the temple, you walk through a garden that has your favorite flowers. And you are invited to collect some flowers as an offering to be placed at the temple altar. Breathe. And as you continue your path to the temple, you are greeted at the door by a familiar face, a familiar energy about this place. Home. As you place your offering at the altar, you are invited once again to the courtyard, to the Master, the Ascended Master, who wishes to express their love and gratitude for you and your heroic human journey. Feel your heart expand in the presence of this Ascended Master as you are invited by the Master over to a pool of liquid light. This beautiful pool is conscious, a living light, a living technology. And when you peer over and you observe your reflection in this pool, you see timelines beginning to shift and merge and move as you witness all of these connections. This pool allows you to view like an eagle soaring high above tracks and trains of timelines below you. And you see one timeline that is illuminated, a clear path, an ascending journey as you fly above it. You fly all the way into a future timeline. That's right. Breathe. And as you fly to this future timeline, you see a version of yourself in the future. This version of yourself has gifts and talents. Perhaps they're living in a way that you wished for your now self. You observe them. You witness them, you see them. Living with a beautiful partner. Living with abundance, freedom, prosperity and joy. Health. An ascended version. Co-creating spirit. Drop down now in front of this version of self, this future self. Feel their warm welcoming As this day has been ordained by your soul and oversoul to connect to one another, welcome, welcome, welcome. This future version of you invites you to stand before them and place your palms on their palm, standing toe to toe and forehead to forehead. As they exhale, you inhale, sharing a circular breath with one another. This future ascended version of yourself has so much love, wisdom, compassion, and kindness for your initiations and your human journey. There are angels standing to your left and to your right, and the Sophia dragons are flying around you in this sacred space, protecting and guiding this transmission now as they spit fire in a ball all around you, as you are invited now to merge with this future version of yourself, this future more ascended, prosperous, wealthy, healthy, advanced future version of yourself. You do this now. Breathe, blending yourself with this version of self, alchemizing, shifting, lifting. Eraira kea onarera she. Breathe. Feel this merge. Breathe. Feel yourself standing there now as one whole unified complete version of self. Breathe and expand your light gently. This is a very advanced way of expanding and ascending. You're ready for it. Breathe. As you lift yourself up now out of this future version timeline, knowing that you are multidimensional, so you never take away the future version of self, you only alchemize yourself into a unified field of wholeness. As you fly back now over the timeline and you witness and you observe and you see below you that these timelines are shifting, alchemizing, moving into the highest, most loving aligned path for your ascension, for your journey, for your evolution. Eraira eya koya mayanare. As this pathway is illuminated for you to follow. As you bring the self, alchemized, whole and complete, back to the version of you now, sitting next to the ascended master in the temple of light overlooking the pool. Breathe. You have received more of yourself today. Breathe. Thank you to the Master for holding space for you as you traveled across the multiverse. Thank you to the angels and guides. Thank you to your higher self. And thank you to your higher selves. Making your way out of the temple now. Knowing that you can come back here anytime you choose for lessons, for integration. Coming back along your beautiful pathway now in the quantum field and seeing your pillar of light, seeing your column of ascension guiding you home, home into yourself, home into a new way of being, a new version of yourself, an ascended, evolved, gifted, beautiful, loving version who is ready for the next chapter in their heroic human journey. Breathe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming fully back into your body, and fully back into your body. Fully present in the here and now, wide awake. And just giving everybody a moment to come back in their own space and time. How's everybody feeling? No comments. You have to get off and say something. I will make you share. Sam, you're sharing.
Wow, it was really beautiful, Mel. I'm always so blown away by your channel and how you're able to just bring through so clearly. I really struggle with my with my words, and it just flows for you, and it really took me up to such a high frequency space where I definitely like experienced that merge, and how beautiful that was. I've never had a meditation or a transmission like that before, so the last couple of weeks, I've been really feeling the need for that as well. So it was just so well timed. And I can feel it's going to take a bit of integration, but what a gift to receive. I was just also in the back of my head, like, this is free. Like, Mel's giving us this for free. Like, this is priceless. This gift today, this transmission was huge. So thank you. It really touched my heart. Love you.
Yay. Thank you so much for sharing. And you know, what I really wanted to do with this transmission is I didn't want to hold back. I want to give you it all. I obviously can't give you that frequency at day one. um, but you know, each day has grown on top of one another, and it is in preparation for my container that you're invited to join. And so, with your blessing, I would love just to speak about this container, and then I will do the giveaway. So, Quantum is my 4-month semi-private container. Semi-private means that every single person who joins has private sessions with me. Okay, so there is no option to only come for the group session. It has to be private. It is an ascension and evolution container. And there is an aspect that is kind of like a modern day mystery school where I am teaching you massive embodiment practices to align and integrate your higher self frequency in your body and how to co create that in your reality. And it is giving you pretty much the exact things that I use, and then kind of like allowing this alchemy to take place where we can modify it to your frequency, which is why I want private sessions with everybody. So everybody gets private sessions. There is 12 keys or 12 gates or 12 activations, 12 trainings that will be longer than this. So this will be your pre-work for everybody who's on the replay. This will be your pre-work, and then we will begin. It will be one transmission a week, and on week 4 will be your private session for integration. So it's going to be a massive journey for those who are ready. It is a high frequency program, and so I'm going to do a giveaway. And so drum roll. And I've got everyone's names in my drawer. Okay, and the winner is Emma Jane. Emma Jane, you have to come off mute now and say something. And I know you're quite shy, so that will be hard for you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. I've never spoken with my sorry, I'm all flustered. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, do you know, in my head I heard you say my name before you said my name. It was so weird.
You're multidimensional, babe.
But I know, but oh, thank you so much.
You're so
I'm
welcome.
so excited. Oh, this just doesn't happen. It's so cool.
It does.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay, cool. And for everybody who has joined me live and who has watched the replay, I would love to offer every single person here a partial scholarship and gift you all $1,000 towards working toward me in some way. So if you are excited and you have enjoyed this process and you would love to continue this journey and continue working with me in some capacity, I have a couple of different offers. And so I would love to just, everyone has $1,000 credit. It's New Zealand dollars because that's where I am, to put toward as a partial scholarship for working with me in the future. So to qualify for this, the invite is to book a discovery call with me within the next 3 days. And we can have a chat about where you are in your life, where you are in your journey, and if there is a true alignment to actually support you. And it might not be now, it might be in the future. These calls are absolutely no pressure. It's just a tune in from your heart to see if you want to continue working with me closer. Um, yeah, so I will actually pop my link in the page. I don't know how to do it now. I'll pop it in my Facebook page, or you can private message me and I'll send it to you. And I've got spaces available for the next 3 days to welcome you all in, have a chat. Um, Generally, I'll pull some cards and just allow some channeling to come through, and we can talk about where you're at, what you want to do, if it feels aligned and exciting for you. So, congratulations, Emma Jane. You are amazing. I'm so excited. Welcome to Quantum. And for those of you who want to continue this amazing journey, there is an invitation that has been placed into your heart by my soul and my soul family. And I would be so honored to guide you and to continue expanding you um, in a different space. So many blessings to you all on your journey. I love you so much. You're all incredible. And I'll see you also inside my private Facebook group where I'll continue to share stuff as inspired. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you and mwah.